This person truly loves you. But there's something about you they're struggling to accept. My beloved child, truth is unfolding around you in this very moment, and the divine balance that was once hidden is turning in your favor with unstoppable force. Don't skip, because what is shifting in the energy of this connection marks an irreversible point where clarity enters and confusion leaves. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you, rising quietly behind everything you thought you already understood. Be with to the last. There is a person whose heart beats for you with sincerity, longing, and a depth they cannot silence even when they try. Their love for you is real, unwavering, and undeniable, but there is a part of you, a truth, a strength, a unique light, that their spirit is struggling to fully accept. As justice unfolds now, their conscience stands in front of a mirror they can no longer avoid, and it shows them every fear, every insecurity, every hidden hesitation they tried to bury. Picture them tonight, sitting in silence with a weight pressing on their chest, realizing they cannot run from this truth anymore. Don't skip, because this moment becomes the turning point where the facade collapses and the truth takes command. They are replaying every word you ever spoke, every action you ever took, and suddenly, the balance shifts as they recognize that you were never the problem. They were resisting the very blessing they asked for. Others notice the shift around them, sensing their restlessness, their sudden quietness, their inability to pretend everything is normal. People around them are whispering, observing, and noticing how their emotions expose what they tried to keep hidden. You rise untouched in this unfolding, shielded from their inner battle as divine justice reveals what their silence could never hold back. Don't skip, because their conscience is awakening with a force that gives them no escape from the truth they must face. Something huge is waiting for you in this unraveling, because love mixed with fear becomes the stage where destiny intervenes. As their heart trembles between desire and resistance, the scales tilt toward revelation with absolute certainty. And now, a deeper layer begins to unlock, one they never wanted you to see yet cannot hide any longer. What they fear about you is the very thing that exposes their true intentions, and I reveals why tonight becomes the breaking point. My dearest one, the turn of truth grows stronger around you now, moving with a precision that leaves no room for confusion or illusion. Don't skip, because what is unfolding tonight is irreversible and will permanently shift how this person sees you and how they see themselves. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you, hidden inside the very fear they tried to disguise. Justice is pressing against their conscience with unstoppable momentum, revealing the imbalance they created by loving you deeply yet resisting a part of you that intimidated their unhealed places. They never expected your strength to be so real, your presence to be so powerful, or your authenticity to expose every place inside them where self-doubt still lives. Now the divine mirror forces them to confront what they avoided, and there is no escape from this awakening. Imagine them pacing in their room, unable to settle, unable to breathe normally, because the truth is unfolding faster than their defenses can keep up. Don't skip, because the shift in their emotional energy becomes the moment destiny pulls them into a corner they cannot walk out of without admitting what they truly feel. Picture their hands trembling slightly as they replay the last time they looked into your eyes, realizing they saw something they weren't prepared to face. Others are starting to notice the behavioral cracks forming around them, how their patience is thin, how their distractions fail, how they react whenever your name slips into a conversation. People are whispering about their sudden change, sensing the emotional storm building beneath their quiet exterior. You rise untouched through all of this, standing in your natural light while their inner conflict becomes visible to everyone around them. Don't skip, because their resistance is collapsing under the weight of honesty, and each passing hour pulls them deeper into the revelation they tried to avoid. Something huge is waiting for you, and every moment of their discomfort becomes part of the divine justice that balances what their silence once distorted. Their heart wants you, their spirit reaches for you, yet their fear of not being enough is the hidden reason behind their struggle to accept every part of who you are. The awakening within them intensifies now, showing them that the truth they avoided is the very truth that sets you apart from everyone they ever loved. I exposes the exact moment when their hidden fear becomes impossible to hide, and the truth forces a permanent shift. My precious one, the turning of truth intensifies around you with a force that cannot be reversed, and their hidden struggle is breaking through the surface whether they want it or not. Don't skip, because every second from this moment forward pushes them closer to admitting what they fear about you. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you, rising like a quiet storm behind their trembling silence. Their soul is being confronted now, not gently, but with the sharp clarity of divine justice revealing every shadow they tried to keep hidden. They love you deeply, undeniably, yet the very power of your presence exposes insecurities they thought they buried. This is the moment when the mirror turns on them, showing every contradiction, every hesitation, every unfinished wound that collides with their desire for you. Picture them sitting alone, eyes unfocused, realizing they cannot keep pretending that nothing is wrong inside them. Don't skip, because this is the exact moment where their emotional armor fractures and their truth starts leaking through the cracks. Imagine the way their breathing changes when your name appears on their screen or crosses their mind, because confrontation now becomes unavoidable. Others around them are sensing the shift with surprising clarity, how they withdraw at certain moments, how they react strongly when someone mentions your strength, your confidence, your growth. People notice the way their voice changes, the way their body tenses, the way their thoughts drift whenever you become the topic. You rise untouched, elevated by divine timing, standing in your truth while their inner conflict reveals what they tried to deny. Don't skip, because their heart is cornered by truth, and the resistance inside them is losing its power with every passing minute. Something huge is waiting for you, and the universe is aligning circumstances to make sure they cannot avoid what must be exposed. Their fear is no longer hidden, it is circling them, pushing them toward a confession they never planned to make. They are realizing now that the part of you they struggle to accept is the very part that reveals who they are when nobody is watching. I uncovers the exact truth their conscience keeps whispering, truth that forces a permanent shift in their intentions. My dearest soul, the unfolding of truth accelerates in this moment, moving with absolute certainty and exposing what their heart can no longer hide. Don't skip, because every detail that was once buried is surfacing with a force that cannot be reversed. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you, and each revelation pulls you closer to understanding the depth behind their struggle. Their conscience is louder tonight than it has ever been, echoing truths they tried to silence with distraction and denial. They love you fiercely, but your strength, your independence, and your unstoppable nature reveal their own unresolved fears. This is divine justice balancing the scales, showing them every place where insecurity has shaped their actions more than honesty has. Picture them staring at their reflection, unable to recognize the person who pretended so long that they were unaffected. Don't skip, because this is the moment the mirror turns into a witness, revealing the emotional truth they hid even from themselves. Imagine the way their face falls as they finally admit, silently, internally, that they feared losing control the moment they met someone like you. Others around them feel the shift taking place, whispering about how strangely quiet they have become when your name is mentioned. People notice their hesitation, their sudden emotional distance, the way their eyes betray what their voice tries to hide. You rise untouched, protected by divine timing, standing in your confidence while their resistance collapses under truth's weight. Don't skip, because what is unfolding now cannot be undone, and every moment brings them closer to confronting the fear that shaped their behavior. Something huge is waiting for you, a truth that will not only expose their inner struggle but also elevate your position in this connection. Their heart knows that you were never the problem, their fear of not being enough has been the invisible barrier all along. And now the universe is forcing them to acknowledge that they cannot love you halfway, because your spirit demands authenticity, not fragments. I reveals the exact part of you they feared, and why this fear becomes the key that unlocks their next irreversible action. My beloved child, the truth turns even sharper around them now, cutting through every illusion they once used to avoid confronting what your presence awakens inside them. Don't skip, because this is the point where their fear becomes visible, undeniable, and impossible for them to outrun. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you, rising from the very truth they resisted. They feared your strength, because it exposed their weakness. They feared your clarity, because it made their confusion impossible to hide. They feared your light, because every unhealed wound within them surfaced whenever you walked into their life with authenticity and certainty. Imagine them tonight replaying moments where you stood firm, unshaken, speaking with a confidence that their spirit admired yet felt threatened by. Don't skip, because the divine mirror is forcing them to confront the imbalance between how deeply they love you and how deeply they fear disappointing you. Picture their hands pressed to their face as they realize the truth. They weren't resisting you, they were resisting the version of themselves they thought they had outgrown. Others notice the change more clearly than ever, their distraction, their mood shifts, their inability to respond normally when someone mentions your accomplishments, your growth, or your resilience. People around them are beginning to whisper that they are afraid of losing you, afraid of not measuring up to who you are becoming. You rise untouched in this storm, standing as the embodiment of the truth their spirit needs yet struggles to embrace. Don't skip, because the scales of justice are turning with unstoppable force, revealing the emotional truth they spent months trying to suppress. Something huge is waiting for you, and every moment of their discomfort is building toward a revelation they cannot hide much longer. Their fear of your power, your independence, your rising identity is collapsing now, leaving them face to face with their real emotions. They are realizing that they cannot love you partially, and they cannot love you from a place of fear, because your soul demands authenticity that cannot be negotiated or diluted. I uncovers how this fear transforms into a moment of confrontation, one that forces them to choose between resistance and truth. My dearest one, the turn of justice grows heavier around their heart now, pushing them toward a moment they can no longer delay or escape. Don't skip, because this is the part where their internal conflict becomes impossible to hide from anyone, not even themselves. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you, shaped by the truth they feared and the love they can no longer silence. Their fear is transforming into pressure, a weight that feels like a hand on their chest, urging them to face the emotions they tried to bury under excuses. They once believed they could control this connection, manage their feelings, or distance themselves until their insecurities faded. But divine timing has shattered that illusion, forcing them to confront the truth. They love you so deeply that their unhealed parts tremble in your presence. Picture them standing still, as if frozen in their own mind, confronted by the mirror that refuses to turn away. Don't skip, because this is where their heart shouts louder than their fear, creating an awakening that cannot be reversed. Imagine them gripping the edge of a table or pressing their palms together as they whisper to themselves the truth they avoided. They are afraid you will outgrow them. Others are talking about the shift, noticing how their behavior is changing rapidly, how their emotions fluctuate when your name enters a room. People see the way their eyes soften, then harden, then soften again, reflecting a battle between vulnerability and pride. You rise untouched in this unfolding, elevated by your growing self-worth while their internal struggle exposes the truth they kept in the shadows. Don't skip, because the divine scales are leaning in your favor now, revealing that their resistance was never rejection, only fear dressed as hesitation. Something huge is waiting for you, because their conscience is forcing them toward a decisive moment where they must confront the truth head-on. They know that if they keep resisting your authenticity, they will lose the very person who was meant to elevate their life. Their heart is preparing to cross a line they avoided for far too long, a line where fear dissolves and truth becomes the only language left. I reveals the moment everything spills over, exposing what they truly feel and what they can no longer hide from you or themselves. My precious one, the turning point arrives now with a force that cannot be stopped, and their truth rises from the depths they never intended to reveal. Don't skip, because what is unfolding in this moment becomes irreversible and marks the beginning of permanent clarity. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you, forming itself inside the storm of their awakening. Their emotions are no longer contained, no longer polite, no longer suppressed beneath layers of hesitation. Love is spilling over, unfiltered and intense, shaking their walls and exposing every fear they tried to hide. This is divine justice in motion, revealing the truth behind their silence and the depth behind their struggle. Picture them tonight unable to control the tremble in their voice as they finally confront the weight of their feelings. Don't skip, because this is the moment where their fear collapses and the truth bursts through with unstoppable momentum. Imagine their breath catching as memories of your strength, your kindness, your certainty rise inside them with overwhelming force. Others are witnessing their unraveling, their sudden emotional vulnerability, their restless behavior, their inability to pretend anymore. People sense the shift, recognizing the way your presence has become a mirror exposing their deepest insecurities. You rise untouched, protected by divine timing, as your power becomes the catalyst that forces them to acknowledge what they have been running from. Don't skip, because the scales have fully tipped now, and there is no going back to the version of themselves that lived in denial. Something huge is waiting for you, because their heart is preparing to expose the exact truth they tried to bury under fear. They can no longer deny that the part of you they struggled to accept was never a fault, it was your brilliance, your truth, your emotional strength. They feel the consequences of resisting you, and the realization pierces them with painful clarity. They were never afraid of who you are, but of who they must become to stand beside you. I reveals the shift that forces them to take action, action that exposes their true intentions and their deepest fear. My dearest soul, the truth is no longer circling them, it is standing directly in front of them, demanding a response they cannot delay or soften. Don't skip, because what happens now becomes a defining moment that permanently alters the direction of this connection. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you, unfolding in the space where their fear and love collide. Their heart is trembling with intensity, but this time, they cannot turn away or bury their emotions beneath excuses. They are realizing that loving you requires courage, not comfort, and their spirit knows that the time for avoidance has ended. Divine justice pushes them toward a choice: step up, or lose the blessing that was placed before them with purpose. Picture them pacing with a tension that refuses to release, rehearsing words they have never spoken aloud. Don't skip, because each breath pulls them closer to the moment where truth will break through their hesitation. Imagine the shaking in their hands as they confront the part of you they struggle to accept, the part that reflects everything they wish they were strong enough to embody. Others see the change in them more clearly than ever, the restless eyes, the deep sighs, the way they fall into silence whenever your growth or resilience becomes the topic. People whisper that they have reached their breaking point, unable to hide the intensity of what they feel. You rise untouched, elevated by your inner power, while their soul faces the consequences of resisting what was meant to guide their growth. Don't skip, because their awakening is reaching a climax that cannot be undone, and destiny is pushing them to confront the truth they feared. Something huge is waiting for you, because their fear is transforming into action driven by urgency and longing. They see now that rejecting a part of you was rejecting a part of themselves, the part that wants love without fear and connection without pretense. Their heart knows they must move, speak, reveal, or lose you to the silence they created. I exposes the moment they finally break, and everything they've been hiding spills into the open. My beloved child, the final unraveling has begun, and truth is tearing through every wall they built around their emotions. Don't skip, because what unfolds here shifts everything permanently, leaving no room for doubt, denial, or delay. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you, truth that breaks chains, not hearts. Their soul can no longer contain the pressure, and the confession they fought against is rising like a tide they cannot push back. Every unspoken emotion is cracking through their voice, through their silence, through the way they look at anything that reminds them of you. Divine justice has cornered them, making them face what they feared most, the truth of their own heart. Picture them sitting down suddenly, overwhelmed by the realization that they can no longer pretend they are unaffected by you. Don't skip, because this is the moment where everything hidden begins to spill into the open with irreversible force. Imagine their face in their hands as they whisper the truth they avoided: they cannot lose you, they cannot replace you, and they cannot silence the love they feel for you. Others are witnessing this shift with growing certainty, how their voice shakes, how their eyes soften, how every attempt to stay composed fails. People around them now fully understand that their struggle was never about you being too much, but about them fearing they were not enough. You rise untouched, glowing with inner power, while their spirit reaches for you with a truth that can no longer be controlled. Don't skip, because the confrontation within them has reached its final, irreversible stage. Something huge is waiting for you, shaped by a revelation they can no longer hold back. They recognize now that the part of you they struggled to accept was the very part that proved your strength, your authenticity, your destiny. They know they must step toward you or step out of your future forever, because your rising self-worth has left no space for half-formed intentions. I reveals the final revelation, what they truly feared, what they truly feel, and why you were always destined to rise above their struggle. My dearest one, the full truth stands exposed now, irreversible and undeniable, illuminated by the divine justice that has been unfolding around you from the very beginning. Don't skip, because this final moment reveals what their heart hid, what their conscience whispered, and what destiny has been preparing for you. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you, your victory, your clarity, your rise. Their soul finally breaks open, releasing the truth they fought against with every ounce of their fear. They never struggled to accept your love, they struggled to accept your power, your depth, your emotional honesty, because it reflected everything inside them that was still unhealed. The very part of you they feared was the part that exposed their own shadow, their insecurity, their fear of being undeserving of someone like you. Picture them trembling as they finally admit, even if only in their own mind at first, that they were intimidated by your strength and awakened by your presence. Don't skip, because this realization is not just emotional, it is transformational, pushing them into a level of honesty they avoided for years. Imagine them whispering the truth they can no longer deny, you are the one their soul chose, but they feared they were not enough for the version of you they fell in love with. Others feel the shift as well, recognizing how your essence elevated you far above the chaos of their inner confusion. People see the difference now, your glow, your peace, your stability, while they face the consequences of withholding the truth for so long. You rise untouched, stepping into a higher realm of self-worth, because the universe has made it clear, your spirit is not to be dimmed for anyone's comfort. Don't skip, because here is the final revelation that destiny has been building toward. Something huge was waiting for you, and now it stands in full clarity. They did not struggle to accept who you are. They struggle to accept who they become when they stand beside someone chosen, powerful, awakened, and aligned. Your light exposed their shadow, your truth exposed their fear, and your strength exposed their insecurity. And now the divine justice stamp settles upon your life with certainty, you walk forward victorious, protected, and completely free from their hesitation. Your spirit is rising, your path is opening, and peace surrounds you like a permanent shield. It is finished. You rise untouched, unstoppable, and aligned with what is truly meant for you. If you like our creation and think to appreciate us, then please subscribe us and make sure to hit subscribe button.